Hi guys, I'm Yelena and this is my channel, Soul Sessions. I'm a student of astrology, intuitive soul coach, and a brand new yoga teacher. Today's video is all about this upcoming Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Each Mercury retrograde is a little bit different because it is based on the astrological sign that it's in. So today we're going to discuss a little bit about this retrograde in general, talk about the signs this will affect the most, and I'll also be giving you some easy and successful tips for how to get through this energy with ease and grace. So stay tuned. So we're about to move into Mercury retrograde once again. It happens 3 times a year. And this is something in astrology that most people fear, but they shouldn't. And I feel that this is just because they're misinformed. So rather than fear, let's learn how to work with it. Because in my opinion, no astrological transit should be feared. They're all there to help us grow and evolve as people, which is the point in life, right? Not to sit and stagnate in our energy and the lessons that we keep learning over and over again. Let's learn them and move forward. Now, as a reminder, a retrograde is when a planet appears to be moving backwards in the sky. However, it's only an optical illusion. Whether it's really moving or not, it has an effect on our lives depending on its placement in relation to a lot of different things in our birth charts, which is where the stars and the constellation and the planets were placed at the time we were born. Now on Tuesday, March 5th, Mercury stations retrograde, which means it starts moving backwards at 29 degrees Pisces. Now with any planet at the 29th degree, this makes the energy a lot more heavy and more intense than usual. I just recently learned from one of my astrology teachers that if we've been doing the right things in our lives that pertain to this sort of mercurial energy, which we'll get into in a bit, then we tend to have a much easier time with this transit. But the reverse is also true. So how do we know if we're doing the right things and where we really fit in with all of this? Now, when a planet retrogrades, it falls off the beaten path, or the path that it's commonly traveled. And so does the mind and the way that the mind works and the way that we communicate and everything. So Mercury is the planet ruling the mind, the intellect, and the ways in which we communicate, whether we communicate or whatever medium we're communicating through. Every planet has a ruler or two, and Mercury's are Gemini and Virgo. However, this specific retrograde is happening in the sign of Pisces, which is the exact opposite sign of the zodiac from Virgo. They don't really like each other that much. They have opposing energies. Now, I'll explain what this means in a way that's a little bit easier to understand. Virgo is an energy that's very analytical, organized, efficient, and focused on the details. I just talked about this a lot in my full moon video. It was the full moon in Virgo. So we're entering and embarking upon some very similar energies here. Now, Virgo in energy, it's much more logic-based thinking. So a lot of people who are more science-minded instead of spiritual-based mind are going to relate to this energy a lot more. However, we're embarking upon a time where we're entering more into some spiritual-based energy. Pisces is not logic-based, okay? It's more up in the clouds, intuitive, imaginative, focus on the way that we feel, our gut instinct, and our sense of just knowing if something is right or not right for us. Piscean energy tends to make things more mystical, which can present a crisis if we're not used to looking at reality this way. This right here is an opportunity for us to strengthen the intuition that all of us have inside of us. And most people don't even realize that they have this because it's just like a muscle. You have to exercise it in order for it to get stronger. And we're never really taught that in our lives. The problem most people have here, though, are trust issues. They don't trust themselves and they don't trust the intuitive nudges that they get. Now, I know for me, early on in my life, I didn't have a damn clue how to recognize an intuitive nudge. And holy hell did it backfire on me because I wasn't listening to my own inner knowing and guidance. But now that I look back, I had tons of them. And I'm sure if you take a look back at your life too, after you start to develop yours, you're gonna see the same thing. Remember that sick feeling in your stomach when something just isn't right for you? Or maybe you have an urge to go somewhere, do something that doesn't seem to make sense to the logical mind, but you end up in the exact position where you need to be to get a job or meet that right person. Or maybe it's the quiet inner voice that most people don't even hear because of all the other chatter, senseless chatter going on inside their mind. So we tend to only do what makes sense to us. And we also rely way too much on what other people, like our close friends and our family, might think if we make some type of illogical decision that doesn't make sense to them. Or we rely way too much on outside advice. We consult other people first instead of ourselves. So this transit right here is going to help us strengthen our intuitive muscle, which is going to play a huge role in the journey that's ahead of us. Now, the key with the intuition is to act on it as soon as you notice that little nudge, however it might show up, before you begin to overthink it and the overthinking mind kicks in. It's a very difficult thing to do, but once you get it, you get it. You just know, act now, don't think. Our mind has the ability to talk us into and out of anything because it's tied directly to our ego, which doesn't always have our best interests at heart. That's that part of us that's always saying, comparing ourselves to other people, making us feel we're entitled for certain things in life, or I don't know, it's your ego. And we need to learn to take control over our mind as well. This is the start to a beautiful balance between being intellectual, one, which is having control over the monkey mind, as well as gaining valuable wisdom from our past experiences. And also, two, having a good, amazing relationship and trust when it comes to our intuition. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. It probably won't even happen significantly in a month. And it takes our conscious awareness in order to develop it. But if you dedicate yourself to staying on top of this each and every day, starting now, starting today, you're well on the road to becoming an expert here. And if you're already doing this, kudos to you. With all this heavy energy upon us, though, the best thing for us to do here is to mimic exactly what Mercury is doing by slowing down in its orbit, slowing down in our lives, going back over the things that have happened in our lives and in our minds and the way that we communicate with others, and taking time to make any necessary adjustments and changes before we begin to move forward again. Now, this isn't the best time for starting new projects, signing big contracts, taking on new jobs, or any type of responsibility, or maybe starting new relationships or whatever. This is the perfect time, though, to rehash exactly where we've been. I don't mean dwelling in the past, okay? I'm a big supporter of living in the present moment. Now, what I do mean is taking a healthy look back at the grounds that we've covered over the past couple months, or maybe since the past Mercury retrograde. What have we done right, and where have we gone wrong? Becoming aware of it rather than wearing our rose-colored glasses and supporting a sense of ignorance. During this retrograde time, Mercury travels through the deeper, darker parts of our soul, those things we usually don't want to look at, and our subconscious mind, the things we're not even aware of that we're doing or thinking, or ways that we're behaving, in order to gain new insights. So you might have epiphanies, you might come to some big realizations about yourself during this time, about your life and the people that you're surrounded by. But this is only if we can get in touch with our intuition and quiet our mind. It's only will this occur, and only will it be beneficial for you. Now, if we fight it That's when Mercury retrograde gets scary. And that's why a lot of people are afraid of it, because they don't even realize what the hell's going on or how they can work with the energy. When Mercury goes direct again, which is March 28th, we'll usually find that we've gained completely new insights and that we understand things on a much deeper level than before. This is going to be the main reason why it's not a good idea to make concrete plans during this time. Because after we've come to these deeper understandings within ourselves, we're probably going to change our minds and have to rework all the decisions that we made during this time. Things are just going to be different. Maybe not physically, but mentally. And another tip for you. With Piscean energy being one of the most creative energies, the best way to really tap into your intuitive abilities is to do just that. Tap into your creative side. What are your creative outlets? Are you even harnessing them? Are you doing them at all? Maybe it's doing art, making music, doing something like this, making a video about something that you love, helping to teach others. Maybe it's writing, dancing, whatever it is. This is the time to do it right now. Because creativity, it's a portal leading you directly to your soul, the true, most authentic expression of you. Now, this energy will be mostly affecting the water signs, which are Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And also the fire signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now you have the knowledge and a few tools to properly work with this energy. I wish you the very best this upcoming Mercury retrograde. Thank you so much for watching as always. And if you enjoyed this content, please share with your friends, hit the like button, and subscribe to my channel below for weekly spiritual and astrological content from yours truly. Have a great week. Bye.